Hang on a minute, Brian. You were saying they're not wrong. Brian.
They haven't got a clue what date was.
Please don't swear. How are you, Brian?
All right, Al.
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Well, first off, let's get this out of the way.
Can we get something else out of the way? Can you get a bit nearer to the microphone, because you sound like you're in a bath?
All right, mate. How's that?
Just the same.
Just the same? All right, well, I've got the phone right next to my mouth. So,
well, there's something wrong with that. Anyway, do carry on then, we'll see how we go.
Yeah, just a quick one. Like, your researcher said, we'll put you on, like, and 1 call before me, fine. 2 calls before me, fine. 3 calls before me, I'm thinking, like, oh, what the hell? Right,
well, you're here now. What do you want to talk about, rather than...
Sorry, Al. Yeah, okay, right. We'll get on. Role models.
Go on.
I don't really think it's a thing, and if people use role models as an excuse, it's a bad thing. And if I give you an example, let's talk about footballers.
Mm-hmm.
It could be footballers, it could be actors, it could be people in the, anybody in the news or whatever, right? And these people should be role models. Well, no, not really. They've got their own lives, and even though they're famous and what have you, they're going to live their lives the way they live them. And I'm old school as a footballer, so my people that I looked up to would have been like, and this is going to sound really, really bad, would have been George Best, Rodney Marsh, Stanley Bowles, Tony Curry, and anybody who knows anything about football, Frank Worthington. Now, I never looked at those people as role models. I didn't want to live their lifestyle, but they were inspirational to me.
What did they inspire you to do?
To play football better.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I never looked at their lifestyle and thought that I wanted to live their lifestyle. And I think,
do you
footballers are like put up on a pedestal, and Jesus Christ, like he was seen out in a nightclub at, Do you believe?
Do you believe, Callum? Brian, sorry, we've established that you're not influenced by those individuals, other than in your desire to play the game that they play. But do you believe that others might well be?
Well, absolutely. But those others. That's their problem. That's not that. Well, that's not like Sam Bowles' problem.
Well, it isn't his problem for sure. But do you not feel that a person in the public eye has an obligation to those who put them into the public eye and admire them to behave in a way as to not give them credence for bad behaviour?
Right, there was something you said there that I've sort of missed. People who put them in the public eye.
Yeah.
That person has a skill.
Yes.
Yeah, and a talent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They've not. It's difficult, isn't it? They've not sort of put themselves in the public eye, really, have they? They've got a skill and a talent, and it just so happens that they're going to be in the public eye.
No. They have to want to be in the public eye. They may not want to be, but the role that they choose for themselves, they don't have to sell their skills. They can do something in private. They don't have to become a professional footballer or a professional whatever. So they choose a course of action that, if they are successful with that choice, they end up in the public eye. It's an inevitable consequence. And once they get into the public eye, do they not have an obligation to behave in a way that allows youngsters to follow their course without following their reprehensible behaviour?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This is the problem,
Well, I don't see it as a problem. I'm just asking you a question. Do you not think that any person who makes his or her living in the public eye has an obligation to behave in a way that others might reasonably choose to follow.
Jesus Christ. Well, they're not superhumans, are they? Like,
No, they're not superhuman, but that doesn't mean to say... I mean, everybody has foibles, you, me, everybody else, and we all do. But we also have an obligation, don't we, to behave in a way that fits in with the mores of the society in which we live.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? You know.
Well, it's not difficult for some. You find it difficult.
I don't find it difficult at all. You know, I mean, like I said, like, you know...
Well, your expression just now was it's a difficult one, and I thought that meant you thought it was difficult. It's silly of me, I know. But no matter. I ask you the question, do you think a person who makes his or her living by being in the public eye, by saying to the public, look at me, if all a footballer did was play football...
Yeah, okay, Alan. Yes, I agree with you, yeah.
I'm not finished the question yet, but if all a footballer ever did was play football and made no comment about life, didn't tweet, didn't do any of those other things, just kicked the bag of wind on a Saturday afternoon and kicked it admirably, and made no comment about life at all, and just got on with his own life in private, then he wouldn't be a role model. The thing that makes him a role model is saying, look at me, I wear these football boots. I wear them because a man gives me £1 million to wear them. But you should do what I do, which is wear these football boots. Oh, look at my pullover. I wear this pullover and I get £1 million for wearing this pullover. You should do what I do. Look at my hairstyle. I get paid to have this hairstyle. You should have a hairstyle like I do. And then he says, but you must not do what I do. I've got £3 million a year for telling you to do what I do, but now I'm saying to you, don't do what I do. They can't have the cake and the eat it, can they?
Well, absolutely no. I mean, you know, listen, like the thing, the way that I look at it is, I mean, you're talking about a lot. You're talking a lot, really, in clouded terms about social media.
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about people who get a great deal of money to do something, and then say to those people by doing it, "You should behave like me."
Yeah, but Alan, how is that put forward? It's put forward on social media.
It's put forward in advertising campaigns. It's put forward on the football pitch. You see the football boots that people wear. You see people wearing yellow and red football boots, not just brown leather, yellow and red. Why are they wearing yellow and red football boots? I'll tell you why. So that they're noticeable. The kid will see the yellow and red football boots. And when it comes time for the kid to get a pair of football boots for Christmas or birthday or what have you, they say, I want a pair of those yellow and red ones. The football player says, I am wearing these football boots. You should do what I should do.
Well, his agent, his advisors...
It doesn't matter whose decision it is. It's his decision in the end, and it's the £1 million that swings it. He says you should do what I do.
Yeah, but all of these are young men. These are young 19, 20-year-old
men. Brian, you were saying they're not role... Brian.
They haven't got a clue what fucking date it was.
Please don't swear. Brian, you are saying that they're doing their job. They are not role models. And yet they are exactly that. And they charge money to be that. They say, wear these football boots that I'm wearing. I am your role model. Do what I do.
Yeah.
And then they go out with some person of ill repute, or they get up to no good in a nightclub and punch the waiter or whatever, and then they say, you shouldn't do what I do. In the morning, they're saying, do what I do. In the night time, so they are role models. And because they're role models, they can make millions of pounds selling their role.
Aye. But like I said, Alan, the young men, the 19, 20-year-old men.
Brian, we weren't discussing. Brian, you said they are not role models. Now you're saying they are. They're stupid ones because they're just 20-odd. I agree with that.
No,
but you said earlier they aren't. I'm sorry?
I don't think I have said that they're role models.
So when the footballer says, by his actions, wear these boots like I do, that's not him saying, choose to be like me.
Well, like I said,
is he saying that? You don't need to, Brian. It's a simple question.
Like 19, 20 years old.
Brian, it's a simple question. I don't care how old he is. Doesn't matter if he's 94 or 9. It doesn't matter. The point I'm asking, Brian. The point I'm trying to get you to address, and you realise it knackers your argument, so you won't. But we'll have another go. The point I'm trying to get you to address is when the footballer says, or any other sports person, this is what I wear. You should wear it because I am your role model. Be like me. Do what I do.
Yeah.
That is what advertising is. That is what endorsement is. Otherwise, the football boot manufacturer, wouldn't give him £1 million.
Okay, right.
So he is a role model. You've just said, okay, yes. Are you now saying he is a role model?
No. Listen,
then what is he then? If he's not saying to somebody, do what I do, how is he not a role model?
Right, okay. Well, let me move on to my further point. Right, I thought this through. I think the thing
you clearly haven't, but never mind.
Okay, Al. It's with the parents. The parents should say, like, no, you're not having these boots, or you're not buying this kit, or whatever. Because,
no. Brian, we're discussing whether the footballer is a role model or not. You said he's not. I'm saying, yes, he is. And he makes a good living out of being it. Now you're saying it's the parents' fault, or it's the kid's fault, or it's a footballer's fault because he's only a kid. We're discussing whether he is or he isn't, and the answer unquestionably is that he is. I interviewed one of the greatest cricketers ever born, David Gower, many years ago.
Yeah,
and he's a fun guy. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah,
he's played for all sorts. And I said to David Gower, tell me this, David, why do you wear odd socks? And he said, because I've got shares in the socks company. That was his answer. I'm advertising socks. People look at me on the pitch, they see my socks are odd, and they think, why has he got odd socks? And so the person sat next to him says, well, you remember the sock shop? He's got shares in the sock shop.
Oh, Jesus, guys.
Role model.
Yeah. So, basically, when it comes down to it, you just think that basically any sportsman or whatever should just fill the boots, get on it, get any sort of advertising that you can get, and, carry on with yourself.
Well, I didn't say that's what any sportsman should do, but that is what they do. Do you know when a footballer signs a contract
that's what they do?
Do you know when a footballer signs a contract with a Premiership team? One of the things that they spend ages negotiating is the value of his image rights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because his image is where he makes a lot of money by being a role model.
Like for example, like Paul Pogba at United or something.
Doesn't matter. I promise you, if there was a television advertisement this weekend and it showed me in my football boots and said, Alan Beswick wears Talat & Jason football boots, they would not sell.
Alan Beswick wears like Sports Direct football boots.
So they would not sell a single pair. Do you know why? Because Alan Beswick is not a footballing role model.
Yeah.
But if I was a footballing role model, and my name was George Best, and I said George Best wears these football boots, then quite frankly people would queue up to buy them, and they did. Why? Because he was a role model.
Well, see, this is the thing, Alan.
There is such a thing. Brian, I think your argument, if you'll pardon the pun, your argument has been rolled over. How do Trevor?
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Trevor.
That was illuminating.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And you're buying the boots on Monday, aren't you?
Oh, definitely.